What's poppin', y'all? Heavy is the head that wears the crown, which is Cenat of streaming, of course, and his group AMP, which he is not a founding member of. He just joined a little bit later. But they had a massive stream the other day where they got to stay at Target overnight. They did like a 24-hour thing in there. They had a bunch of fun, and it was to roll out their new product, which is it's called Tone, and frankly, these guys are just doing everything. Like, the amount of deals that they're able to close is crazy. But you would think like, oh, damn, that's great. It's like a men's product, like a health product, like a body wash or some sort of deodorant, one of those types of things. I think it comes in a set. And you would think, okay, cool. That's the new Axe for the young bucks. You know, like back when we were kids, everybody just, I don't know why, but like the younger generation, Axe was their thing. Axe body spray. And you'd have 7th graders in the locker room before basketball practice just spraying the hell out of that thing, go into the hallway, and it just smells like Axe. Maybe Tone will be their new Axe. Who knows? But they started to get a lot of backlash for this. And I was a little bit surprised. I was like, wait, hold on. How are they getting backlash for this? Well, Cenat didn't address any of it, but this all started with the issues that Target has been called out for rolling back their DEI initiatives. So for those that are unfamiliar, DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And to sum it up, the original definition and the original intention behind it, it was something that was brought to corporations and organizations and NGOs and things like that to make sure that, hey, we need to have a diverse representation of people. We need to make sure everything's fair and everyone's heard. All the resources are there. It's equity. It's like, hey, we have like 20% women at this company. We need to get it to 50%. We have like this percentage of black, white, Asian, Pacific Islander, whatever else. We need to get this more evened out. So that's what it meant. And they were trying to offer a lot of initiatives. And this isn't just Target. This is many companies. And I would say this started post 2013 when like there was a lot of quote unquote woke stuff. That word has been bastardized so much, so I don't like to use it. But in the same vein, DEI became bastardized. So if you've seen like Elon Musk be like, oh, this is DEI. DEI just became a word that was adopted by, you could say, more right wing, but it first started off as white people feeling like they were being harmed by DEI policies, which it's so funny to watch this play out. But they were saying like, oh no, we can't get jobs because of these DEI policies, and we don't, especially white males, we don't fall under this. Now, frankly, the white women, they somehow get the benefit of every single development in history. But everyone else gets screwed. But the white woman, she wins because she falls under DEI, even though she's been afforded the same luxuries of the white man. She's his pairing. Hey, who knows, right? So people started to adopt that, and it started to become like, I wouldn't say like code word for racist, but like if a plane, like anytime there was a plane crash, they were like, oh, was this a DEI hire? Which basically meant, was it a woman or a non-white person? That's what they were trying to use. And they were trying to allude to the fact, or not the fact, they were trying to allude to, oh, if this was DEI and this disaster happened, it's because it was DEI and the standard was lowered for this person to have this job or opportunity. So now that we're in this new era where a lot of that quote unquote woke stuff is really being tossed to the wayside, you can just see your algorithm and be like, yo, this stuff would not have... 2020, 99% of this stuff would have gotten people permanently banned, lost their jobs, and had their lives ruined. But now it's like normal. So what happened was Target was rolling back their DEI initiative. And on February 28th, which was the last day of Black History Month, there was a boycott started against Target because they felt like they were harming. And this was started by a pastor, Jamal Harrison Bryant. And then he said, we're asking people to divest from Target because they have turned their back on our community. This is a black pastor. And he continued and said, we are witnessing a pivotal moment in economic activism. This isn't just about Target. It's about ensuring that corporations understand that black consumers demand respect, representation, and real investment in our communities. He even spoke out in this Breakfast Club clip, which I'm going to play for you guys right now.
40-day fast of Target.
Yes. So people are asking, why did we pick Target when Walmart out of order, McDonald's is out of order, John Deere's out of order, Bank of America's out of order,
Amazon
is out of order. is we wanted to go, the African proverb says, if you want to eat an elephant, do one piece at a time. So we picked Target first for several reasons. Number one, Target is headquartered in the same city George Floyd was killed. When George Floyd was killed, Target came out, made an announcement that they're going to invest $2 billion in the black business. $2 billion, drum roll, and it starts December of 2025. When Trump made the announcement January of 2025, they dishonored that commitment. So we wanted to hold them accountable because when they made the pledge, it had nothing to do with DEI. Secondly, I am embarrassed, Breakfast Club, to say to you, Negroes spend $12 million a day in Target. And I don't know any black business that amasses that much money in any singular day.
Is it $12 million a day?
A day. Number three, Target is on 27 college campuses and not one HBCU. Number four, outside of the federal government, Target is the largest employer of black people. There are 400,000 black people on payroll and don't honor us. So if we're giving that kind of money, that much human capital, and to not honor us, I think is dismally disrespected. And because they're publicly traded, we wanted to see what will happen in those 40 days that shows the data. This is the impact when black people walk away, and to share it with those sharecrops. So it will not just be 40 days, but every movement has to have a benchmark. It's got to have a strategy, and you got to have some data.
Why are you calling it a fast and not a boycott?
Yeah, I called it a fast because this was a call to the black church to become active. Something happened silently that scholars and historians are going to have to pay attention to. The rise of Black Lives Matter, Charlemagne, was the very first movement of civil rights for black people that was not birthed out of the church. The very first civil rights movement that happened that didn't have a religious leader at the front. And so the black church is going backwards. This is the largest demographic of black people since we've been in America who don't go to church at all, who don't subscribe to organized religion. We're at 28%. The largest amount of black people who self-identify as atheists, who say they don't believe in God, don't believe in nothing. So this was a call specifically for black Christians to show the younger generation our head is not in the sand. We're a part of it, but we're aligning it with prayer. That those 40 days is a high holy season for the Christian community. We're praying because this is a spiritual warfare that we're under with J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. With all of the things that are happening with these executive orders, marching is good, protesting is necessary, petitions are important. But if we don't bring a spiritual grounding to it in order for you to move forward.
They're going at Target, and he's saying it's not just Target, but they're going at Target because it was one of the first ones to get rid of DEI programs. Because at the time when everybody was pandering in 2020, 2021, a lot of these corporations as well, they were saying like, yo, we're going to invest a lot in promoting and shelving products by black-owned businesses, etc. And Donald Trump went in there, and when he became president this time, he's like, oh, we're getting rid of DEI, which I don't even know what that means. I don't even know how that's supposed to work. So Cenat gets in there, and now a bunch of people are saying, well, you guys were supposed to be boycotting. We're all supposed to be boycotting Target, and now Target is either using Cenat or Cenat is tone deaf and is not like with us. Number one, I don't even think Cenat knew about this. Like Cenat is so busy, he's dialed into a completely different algorithm. I don't think he sees any of this. But some other people decided to call them out, and the guy that started the boycott, Pastor Jamal Bryant, he didn't come at Cenat like many others. He came at Target, and he said if Target would spend as much energy and resources meeting the demands of the Target Fast 40 as they are on influencers, paying preachers, and going to Essence Fest, we would be further along. Doing what's right for our people is always made to feel like an inconvenience. Stand on business and don't go back in until they handle us right. And a journalist, Jamil Hill, which you guys have probably heard this name before, was really digging in and said Target is spineless. They don't want to anger Donald Trump, so they won't publicly apologize or rectify what they've done. Instead, they're going to keep throwing checks at certain members of the black community, hoping we'll lose our will to fight. They're just waiting to give the right black celebrity a check so that it will galvanize people to return. And then she referenced Jay-Z and Colin Kaepernick with the NFL. Eventually, Target is going to partner with someone who's universally beloved in our community, force folks to make a hard decision, and run the same game. So, Cenat doesn't really address this. Duke Dennis does, however. And in this first clip, people really take this out of... You had people on TikToks saying that he voted for Trump. So I'm going to play you guys this clip first of Duke Dennis reacting to that.
Saying that I don't want to talk about who I voted for brought you to me. I'm going to skip it. I'm going to skip it, though. But hold on. I just want to say one thing, though. Me saying that I don't want to talk about that brought you to me, right? And it brought you to me with the assumption that I voted for Trump, which on God I didn't. But you made that assumption, right? And that's why I just ignore all of that shit right there. You know what I'm saying? So
Duke Dennis is somebody that, dog, they said this guy had 8 kids, and he said, listen, you guys aren't ever going to see any of my kids if I do have any. So why the hell would he tell people who he voted for? And this is one thing that Duke Dennis is consistent with across the board. He's not just saying, oh, I'm not telling you who I voted for because he voted for the quote unquote wrong guy. He's not telling y'all because he keeps certain things separate. And he's been consistent about that. The guy's keeping his family, baby mamas, and kids away from all of this too. His vote is a lot less important to him than the family. So clearly, if he didn't let y'all know about that, he's not going to let y'all know about the voting thing. And I think he likes how it triggers people. But then he goes on with the Target and why they put it in Target. So I'm going to play you guys that clip.
Bro, I've been seeing a lot of people mad at us that we got Tone in Target, bro. And it's like, everybody that's saying that, bro, is they hypocrites, bro. They being hypocrites. They are lying. All right? Like, if they had a product and Target wanted them to put it in Target, they would do that because it's what's best for business. Like the same way our goal, like shout out to Target for putting Tone in Target, but that's not where it stopped. We want Tone in Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, gas stations. You feel me? All around the world, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's, bro. If you actually, no cap, if you actually are an entrepreneur and you own a business, and if you didn't, that would be bad for business, you stupid motherfucker. What the f? Like, bro, no cap, they are lying though. That's the crazy part. Like, the same people who got something to say, you telling me that if you had your product and Target was like, hey, can we please put your product in our store? You would say, no. Shut the f up. That's what I'm talking about.
Now, I think this clip is a bit... I kind of scratch my head where he's like, oh, you know, this is a business. If you guys were in our position, it's just, it makes sense logically, but not in the context to which people are criticizing him. I think the better thing is, yeah, Target said they were going to put more black-owned products on shelves. AMP is black-owned. Well, Agent owns AMP. Kaya probably owns AMP, some of AMP as well now. But regardless, this is like a company with a product that's pretty much all black, and they're in Target. So isn't Target doing exactly what you guys wanted? Or does it have to be people that are less famous? That's where I think Duke Dennis could have gone in on it. But everyone else is not really touching it. And this is the thing too. The audience for Cenat and them is youngins, kids. The audience for Cenat and them, AMP, streamers, it's young bucks, kids, teens, late teens, maybe early 20s, mid 20s at the most. So it's not the target audience. It's not like their audience is specifically racially based. Now, of course, they're going to identify with them more. So they probably have more of a racial makeup that is similar to them. That's just the nature of it. Like you go to Mr. Beast, probably all of his fans are white. That doesn't mean Mr. Beast doesn't have, not all, but like a Mr. Beast meetup, the majority of them might be white just because they're like, oh, this guy looks just like me. Say it like with FouseyTube, like most of his following was like Middle Eastern or Arab or South Asian even, which is very different, but it's close enough, right? They're like, oh, this is the closest thing we got. But I think this is overblown. I think them trying to ascribe, I think this is very different from what Jay-Z did, because Cenat never got political. AMP never got political. Jay-Z got political. And then he switched it up and was like, yeah, I got the opportunity now. So that's just what I think about it. I think Duke handled it properly. I don't think the rest of AMP needs to address it. And I think this is a big congratulations to these guys. It's just so cool to see them have a product, and it's exclusively in Target as well. And this is the thing. They're like, oh, Target is picking these guys up because of the boycott. Dog, you're not going to get national distribution for a physical product in stores around the country and have the product developed and have the deal in place in less than 30 days, which is when this thing started. Like this whole movement started March 6th. That was 3 months ago or so. Actually, yeah. It is possible for it to be done in 3 months, so I take that back. 3 months, that could happen. But usually these things have probably been in the works for 4 to 6 months. And this is also another thing, like the product development aspect of it too, unless they're just white labeling another product, which is most likely the case. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.